Hey you, yes you. Accept and remember your wholeness. I'm going to say that again. I need you to accept and remember your wholeness. What I mean by that is, so often we get caught up in our day-to-day lives and we judge ourselves based on our circumstances and the dynamics that we have in relationships to others. And we forget that we are already whole and complete. And regardless of what you're experiencing externally, that does not diminish or replenish your wholeness. You are already whole and complete, and you needn't do anything to make it so. You were born whole and complete. And sometimes this life experience, the things that happen, the judgments and the assumptions that we cultivate and we start forming beliefs around, change how we view ourselves. And so we forget our wholeness. And so we think we have to chase and we have to acquire material things and we have to achieve external goals for validation to validate our wholeness. But I just want to remind you that you are already whole and complete. One of my favorite YouTubers, his name is Joseph Rodriguez. If you're familiar with him, he's phenomenal. But he has this common thread throughout all of his video lessons. Sorry about the light. See how light we are? He has this common lesson throughout all of his videos. And it is a reminder that you are love, happiness, peace, bliss, and fulfillment. And you needn't do anything to do that, to be that. You just are that. And it's only our forgetting of our I amness, our I amness of I am love, happiness, peace, bliss, and fulfillment that makes us act and behave and emotionally relate in ways that make us feel like we're separate from our wholeness. But we are not separate. Separation is an illusion. It's the greatest illusion of this experience. And it's our only job is to dispel, release beliefs and conditioning that continue to perpetuate the illusion of separation. It's not true. You can be love, happiness, bliss, peace, fulfillment, and harmonious in all of your interactions. You can be love, happiness, bliss, peace, fulfillment in all of your relationships. And it doesn't matter what's happening externally. It doesn't matter what someone says or does or how they show up. You can decide to remain in your wholeness regardless of external factors. Accept and surrender to your wholeness. Accept that you are already love, happiness, peace, bliss, and fulfillment now. And if beliefs come up that contradict this, simply acknowledge it, release the emotion around it, and disconnect your identification with it. You can think a thought, but just because you think a thought doesn't mean it's true. You don't have to identify with every thought you think. You can think a thought, and if you find it to perpetuate separation, you can acknowledge it and lovingly release it. I no longer believe or identify with this thought. It's illusory. It doesn't serve me. I now return and accept my wholeness. I am love, happiness, peace, bliss, and fulfillment, as Joseph so lovingly reminds us. And as you accept that, you can be as you are. You can remain in your flow. You don't have to condition others' behavior to say that if this happens, then I'll be happy. And if this doesn't happen, then I'm going to be sad, or I'm going to be critical and judgmental. I'm going to have to do something about it. Just because you think a thought doesn't mean that you have to accept and surrender to it being true. Remember, we think thousands of thoughts per day. And if we identify with all of the thoughts we think, oh my God, what a world, what a life, right? So just remind yourself and lovingly forgive yourself. No judgment or condemnation. Don't find it as a point to beat yourself up for thinking the thought. Don't find it as a point to beat yourself up for emotionally relating to the thought. Simply acknowledge when you grow aware, hey, this doesn't align with my truth. And my truth is I'm already whole. I am whole. I am happiness, love, peace, bliss, and fulfillment. And I am that because I just am. I didn't have to do anything to be that. The divine created me as that. and I'm an extension of the divine. So just remind yourself that as an extension of the divine, I'm already whole. I'm needing nothing, I'm lacking nothing. And in my wholeness, I can show up authentically. I can be my unique self, because my uniqueness is a contribution to this planet, to these relationships that I have, to these circumstances that I'm a part of. My wholeness, my authentic expression of self is a gift to this experience. And so as I remain in my wholeness, I don't need to condition anything in order for me to feel happiness, love, peace, bliss, and fulfillment. Now, separation is the greatest illusion to plague mankind. We are not separate from our good. We are not separate from our love. We are not separate from our wholeness. We are not separate from our peace. All we need to do is grow aware when we're not being whole, when we're not being loving, when we're not being at peace, acknowledge it and return to accepting that we already are, regardless of circumstances, regardless of dynamics, happiness, love, peace, bliss, and fulfillment, as my big dog, Joseph Rodriguez, so lovingly reminds us in his content. Love you, Joseph, by the way. Return to your wholeness and accept that you are already whole. And as you act from your wholeness, everything flows. Life flows. Conversations flow. Circumstances, solutions arise to the circumstances. That's when everything unfolds in a miraculous way, when you remain in your flow, when you return to your wholeness and stop identifying with beliefs of separation, beliefs of judgment, of negative assumptions and ideas that don't serve you. We don't get what we want in life. We get what we are being. And so be whole. This is your reminder. You got this.